Hello, everyone. Welcome back to class. This week, we're going to have the topic about environment with the motion. This house would build a dam. Interesting topic. Have you seen a dam? What is a dam? A dam is a barrier that stops the water from flowing. So you control the flow of water. Now, if you see the huge water you see behind the dam over here, it is reservoir. And these are created to stop the flood or provide water for people, farming, factories, and so on. So dam seems like a very good thing, but then it also destroys environment because a lot of these areas get flooded underwater. It also hurts the surroundings. So, really, the question of today's debate is, should we continue to build the dams? Okay, so dams seems like a pretty good thing that happened these days, but it actually happened long time ago. Early dam building took place in Mesopotamia and the Middle East. They were used to control the water, and you see in the picture is the Jawa Dam, built almost 5,000 years ago, 3,000 BC. These are the ruins, but you can see that it controlled the water so that people can grow food there. You also see in this picture the Roman dam in Spain that was built almost 2,000 years ago. And it is still working. So once you build a dam, then it just stays there for quite a long time. And people use these water to farm, and they also stop the flood. And there are a lot of good things. And that's why people started building the dams long time ago. Let's move on to the modern days. Like what kind of dams are built in the really the 19th and 20th century? By 1997, there were estimated 800,000 dams worldwide, and more than 40,000 of them are 15 meters high. Big dams are built all around the world and mostly in Asia, India, Europe, China, US, South America. So a lot of rich countries started to build a dam as well as other countries too. The one you see in the picture right now is the Aswan Dam in Egypt. This was built in the 1916 and it's the largest dam in the world. The example you see down here is the Hoover Dam in United States. This dam was built during the Great Depression, where economy was very, very bad. And the government built this dam to get jobs for many people. Why should people build dams? Well, firstly, building dams are good because it provides water. You saw the water behind the dam or the reservoirs. So you can keep the water during the time when there's a lot of water, and then you can use that water for drinking or for other purposes during the times where there's not enough water. If you live in places like Hong Kong, you see a lot of water all the time. That might not seem that it's very important, but for countries where you don't see a lot of rain, dams can be very important. It also helps to stop the flood. Every year when there is a pour, a lot of rain, a lot of houses and the places go underwater, leaving everyone to flee their houses and they lose all their belongings. Dams can help this by stopping the flow of water so there won't be any flood. You can also say dams provide water for a lot of factories, farming. So it allows for really dry countries like Middle East or African nations where in part of Africa where they don't see a lot of water for farming. It allows farming in those dry lands so people can eat food. Have you ever had a trip to the dam? This picture is where people play water sports and hang out and have picnic nearby the dam. Dam is not just for keeping or using water, but it also provides great places for picnic and recreational facilities. Lastly, dams are great because you can also use the water power or the hydroelectric power to generate a lot of electricity for the country to use. So you can say that dams are a great way to not just keep water, but also create electricity for you and I to enjoy in the house and also for the factories. So that seems very great. So why would you say no to dams? Well, firstly, the cost of building a large dam today can be a lot. A lot to the point of $20 billion. And it takes around almost 10 years to complete the construction. Now, it's a big project for the government, but if the government does not have a lot of money, or have a lot of people who do not have enough food every day, should they be really building dams? Or should they use their money on other ways? You can also say by building a dam, it it really displaces a lot of people. Remember the reservoir that goes underwater? People used to live there and now you kick them out and say you cannot live here anymore because it's going to go underwater because of the dam. So a lot of problems in developing nations happen because you end up, kicking people out from their houses. And also think about it. If there are animals living there, they're all dead because the water will just eat up because of the dam. Another big issue about dams is that it's really high tech, but then once they have earthquakes or natural disasters, and then suddenly the dam breaks, it's a total disaster. One of the accidents that happened recently in Laos, a dam broke and burst, and it really killed thousands of people in just a couple of hours. So you can create mega flood of water that can kill so many people if accidents happen. Environmentalists also say dams destroy the environment. It used to be a river, but now it's a dam or the reservoir. Now it looks nice on the outside, but if you think about it, the animals or the fish that used to live in the water, now they are all extinct or dead because of the dams. Some researchers also say that because the water doesn't move in dams, it keeps the water flow to one level. So there's a lot of carbon dioxide that are created because of dams. It creates a greenhouse gas effect and it makes the climate change more and more severe. Lastly, you can say, if one country builds a dam in the river, then the neighboring or the next country won't get enough water. So there's a lot of water wars in parts of Africa or Middle East because if one country builds too many dams, then the other countries don't get enough water for their farming and their use. This was especially true when the Aswan Dam was built in Egypt, the Nile River. Then the other countries that relied on the water from the river don't get water anymore and they don't get to farm. So you can say that dams also create a lot of problems. So let's go into some arguments. Should we continue to build these big dams or not? If you're in the pro team, you can firstly say dams help us retain our water supply. Some countries don't have enough water and they need to save water during the dry period so other people can enjoy. And you can say, look, this really helps because you can give water to people, farming, or factories. Dams also provide a clean energy called hydroelectro energy. So you don't need to burn a lot of fossil fuel, which creates carbon dioxide. You can also say a well-constructed dam provides flood control. So example that I said was that if you build a very good dam, then during the time where there's heavy rain, dams can keep the water and then there will be no flood. So that saves a lot of people's lives if you think about it. Lastly, you can also say people can enjoy the dam. Who doesn't like a picnic near the dam site? If you look at the con side argument, you can say dams displace a lot of people, kick people out of their places, and hurt the environment because of all the extinction that you change the environment. So a lot of animals and people get impacted. And once broken. Dams create a flooding risk if they're or when they experience a failure. So yes, it can control the flood, but if the flood and is not controlled, then it can also kill a lot of people at the same time. So it can be very dangerous. You can also say dams can block other areas or neighboring countries for water. So other countries will not have enough water, so it's not going to be good. And the construction of dam is so expensive, and some countries will say, you shouldn't be using that to build a dam, but you should use that money for poor people. That's a very good point. So I think there's a very good pro and con arguments in this debate today. So what I suggest you to do is you can look at the reading and think about, should countries continue to build a dam? I want you to have a thought about it. Read the reading, and until then, I'll see you at class. Thank you. Bye bye.